5:30, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Anderson. Vederfer.
Present.
Dubé.
Present.
Holstein.
Present.
Yaris.
Here.
Ravish here. Kuchar.
Here.
7 present.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everybody first for that great meal and fellowship before the meeting. It was very nice. I'd like to do it more often, but I know it's hard for me to get here, let alone for the staff to prepare it, so it's much appreciated. Do we have any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda?
I'd like to move items to the non-consent agenda. E, A, non-consent, item G, B, H, C, item I to D, item R to E, and item U to F.
Okay. Any other?
And I'd like to move from the consent agenda, item N, which would now become B, and item P, which will now become H, the employment of the 2 elementary teachers.
Okay, any other additions, deletions, changes to the agenda? Not need a motion to approve that?
Make a motion to approve that.
Support.
Motion support, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you. Community comments on the agenda items? Anybody like to address the board about what's on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move to the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda and pay bills totaling $1,251,916.55.
Okay, we have motion support. Any discussion on these items?
Just one question on the fee. So, as I understand, we're establishing a fee of 0. Is that what this is outlining?
For a copy of
So,
the agenda.
we're approving a fee of 0.
Correct. We're required to have
some
to
kind of
have to establish something.
Yep.
All right, any other discussion items? All right, roll call vote, please.
Vederfer.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Dubé.
Yes.
Holstein.
Yes.
Yaris.
Yes.
Ravish, yes. Kuchar.
Yes.
7-0.
Thank you, motion carries. Communication, Mr. View. Mr. Walsh, wow, been doing this 2 days now. 2020, it is summer. It is summer, I have a teacher, my brain does not fully function. It's just can't happen.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
I know, I was thinking of it.
You have to call me style.
Let me first talk about our 2 hires for our administrative positions that are coming up. We were very happy to have the applicants that we did, a great group to pick from. And you will see that the recommendation for Tiffany Jaime for the middle school AP and safety coordinator. Tiffany was a music teacher, worked with a Montessori school, worked for the NEA. When I called references, amazing, glowing remarks. Some of them told me that they're trying to get her back with them as we speak because she's such a good worker and works so well with everyone. So hey, she's not here. She's not here for us. So that's why I wanted to share that with you. That we're really happy to have Tiffany join us. And then Ken Huber as well for the high school AP/AD. Currently the AP and Dean of Benville Middle School. He has spent time coaching at 2 different universities and being an athletic director at 2 different universities. Will be completing his administrative certification in October. I didn't want anyone to think we were trying to hide anything with that he is completing it and will be getting that this October. And then again, when I talked to the references, I talked to his current principal, past principal, and a school board member. Everyone, again, glowing remarks, worked well with parents and students, even in stressful situations. Handled them very professionally and was great working with students because dealt a lot with discipline at his previous school or the school he was at last year, which would be a lot of what he's doing with us as well. So seemed to fit very well, and we're happy to have both of them on our agenda tonight. So any questions about either of them before we go on? And we did have a great interview committee composed of myself, school board member, teacher, parent, and administrator. So we kind of hit all areas, and everyone was happy with our results of that. So, housing opportunity, that one came to us, the White House that is right next to our property on the west side. I don't think it's even posted yet, right, for sale? Or they
It
call
was.
it was.
A couple times.
Yeah, it was, but now it's not.
So they contacted us and just asked if we would be interested in purchasing the house, the property, since it butts right up against ours. I don't see any reason to do that right now, besides the land. But I at least wanted to bring it to you that they did contact us and asked if we would have any interest in buying the house and the land. So, you know, if I guess there is anything that you would think of a reason to look further into it, but
Well, if we have a class that wants to learn to flip houses, maybe.
Yeah.
yeah.
You gotta make some money on it.
So, soccer scoreboard, last week, I did get quotes for installation and electricity being run. I don't think I have the quote yet for installation, but the electricity quotes did come in, and there were 3 separate spots that they bid for us. Originally, I was thinking to have it in the far southwest corner, kind of facing everything coming this way. But I didn't think the cost of electricity, the wiring, to go all that way from the pump houses where they were thinking they're going to run. So the other spot is on the southeast corner, and then the last spot will be kind of next to the pump house, facing the soccer field this way, where everyone coming on Pinconning Road this way towards us going east would see the big scoreboard with the Garber thing at the bottom. That's the main thing. They helped us tremendously, and I want to make sure that people can see that. So that's something that I'm assuming that's going to be our spot, because the quotes it was double for that far corner where I originally thought compared to the up close. So I'll keep you informed on that and where we're at.
So you're looking at the northeast corner.
The northeast corner, yes, but kind of facing straight, not angled, because I want the students or the athletes, coaches, and the fans to be able to see it. So it won't be angled at all.
Are we putting the spectator stands on the south side?
South side, yes.
Okay.
Because with them parking here, I don't want them walking all the way around the field. I want them to have a quick little walk where the players and coaches, they can walk.
I just don't know if there may need to be some angle to it. You're not talking first perpendicular to the road, maybe a slight angle so the spectators.
As long as the road can see the sign from Garber on it, because they gave us a lot of money with that. I think one of the things they asked is that people on the road could see it.
You should be able to see that coming up Pinconning Road.
Yeah. And I'll keep you updated. Nothing's happening yet. I'm sure we'll have a board meeting or 2 before it's put up. So, but I wanted to keep you informed of that. Logo redesign. This one is kind of strange because after I put this in, I think I learned that we've had a new logo on our website, but the ISD and other people haven't been using it. Because even last year when we had our ISD-YPD, they had the old Spartan head, and it said Pinconning Schools around it in a circle, and I'm thinking, man, that is 70s. I mean, that's old. We need to get that changed. I even talked to Mr. View about it, and he mentioned it to me on that same day, like, we need to get that changed. But like Catherine told me on our website, it does have a new Spartan head, and it says Pinconning School. I'm still interested in looking, because a lot of schools have kind of a generic, a compass or waves or something else for their logo. Because Linwood, they're not the Spartans, they're the Lions, but they're still part of our school. So as of right now, I'm still thinking about that one. I'll keep you informed of that one as well. But I was happy after I put this in when Catherine did some work, and then she said, we kind of have this new one that,
So we did a newer one.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's our new Spartan header, just a Pinconning
Parts,
part.
but it was elongate the nose shield
Yes.
and the cheek plate. That was.
Yeah,
Two of those make.
And I'm not talking about the high school logo, that is the high school logo, the district has its
Oh.
own logo.
Oh,
The high school, yeah, the high school, we know that it changed from that Spartan head to ours,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but districts have logos as well. You know, where teachers will all get a shirt that'll have something on it.
Okay.
So we got a letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was,
Your last year, I believe you're the one who did it.
Yeah, I changed the
Yep.
one.
and that's okay, that's all taken care of.
3 years ago.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know what this.
Yeah, there's another, districts have ones as well, so.
Brand confusion is what they said.
Garage sale, I talked with, our head of maintenance, Jim, because I've been going into our warehouse or storage shed by the ball fields, and it used to be called the tractor shed, and it is packed to the ceiling. With so much stuff that I said we have to clean these out, have room for things that we need. I am meeting tomorrow with our drama director Tara, because there is probably 3 or 4 years worth of stuff that wasn't really torn down, kind of put in both of those places. So we need to consolidate and get rid of some stuff. And there's old weight equipment. I don't know how long it was. Some was very in good shape, great shape, but it's out there where it's been sitting for quite a long time. There's an old tractor that's been there, a lawn tractor. So I'm gonna talk with Craig and maybe find a day next week where we do either a rummage sale or some online sale where we just list things and people can bid on them, and if nobody wants it, we can get rid of the stuff.
My district, Saginaw Township, whenever they have that access, they use, I want to say it's publicsurplus.com or something like that. They're online.
Sure.
There's two.
Good.
Deals is the big one.
So we'll be talking, and I want to clean these out so there, because there's old tables, I think from computer tables from quite a few years ago that are stacked to the ceiling that we don't need anymore because we have laptop, everyone has their own.
Yeah.
A website like that would deal with the industry getting rid of stuff. Like
That'd be
people who are
perfect.
specifically when they're looking for
Yep.
have a lot more demand.
Yes.
The old sewing machines were there from when we had,
I haven't seen those.
No,
They used to be?
were.
Okay, yeah.
They
Yeah,
disappeared when we started using that for robots.
those seem to be gone. Yeah, okay. Sterling Health Center, in your packet, you see 2 pieces that I have to sign and send away to the Sterling Area Health Clinic that we had our presentation on a few meetings ago. A license agreement and a memo of understanding, just kind of laying things out that she's already talked about it. There was one thing that I did have her take out because the memo of understanding said that they would be the sole provider of dental services to our kids. And I said, we have our dental bus come here. If we want to continue with that, I want to be able to do that. And so she took it out. That is being taken out if it isn't already. So that would be good. But I just wanted to let you know as well that we are sending those in, and if anyone had any questions on those. Blacktop has been laid down. If you've seen that by our warehouse, that is now complete. The soccer field grass, I continue to not be very happy. I met with multiple groups last week, and I sent a message to all groups involved, including Dan LePan, who's been helping us with this, and Sova and Maro, who are our sprinkler system and the ground and seeding. It just doesn't look great. It looks like it needs some work. Now, True Green is also involved, which they've been helping. They sprayed it for weeds a couple weeks ago. They're spraying it again for weeds. And he promises we're going to get it to where it's going to be what we want. My concern is now, there's probably more money involved with True Green, who had nothing to do with the contract originally. So I just want to let you know that there is contact being made. We're talking about it, and they know that I'm frustrated with what it looks like right now. And when it's mowed, it looks okay. It's all green. It looks good, but when you walk through it, it's still a lot of weeds, and their True Green's working on killing them off right now as we speak.
Now, on the soccer field, my understanding with speaking with the individuals, it's not very level. From where they cut in the lines, it's beat up.
The lines, and I did walk it last week, and I was told by maintenance that they run the lawnmowers on it, and it's bumpy. So that was part of my message, that which group was supposed to have it leveled and packed down where they did the lines. But I think almost more of the bumpiness is the clumps where there's grass and no grass. Because there's big chunks of grass with spots, and I think they're bouncing on that as well, where we have to have that grass filled in so it's not rough. It's both. It is the lines. There's a couple little washout areas where the sprinklers go and the water goes down and it washes away. They're aware of our concerns and we'll stay on them.
The sprinklers all working now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And intends not to use that till the spring, correct?
We'll see. One of the groups said that it would be ready by late fall, or maybe we could play a game or two on it, but I'm not rushing anything and tearing anything off that before it's ready. Yeah.
And well, we gotta make sure we're not gonna twist ankles and stuff.
Yeah,
like
but we do have the poles in our warehouse for the, kind of like the backstops behind the goals. We have, the goals are ordered and they're on their way, so things are coming in. We want to be ready, so when that field is ready, we're not ordering stuff and it's 6 weeks away from being ready. So, yeah, I think it's a very, very slim chance that we'll be ready. I don't want to say 100% no, we're not, in case something miraculous happened and True Green got it. Amazing. So, okay, thanks.
Questions?
So one other quick thing is I did want to thank Mr. Hoisington for his time working as our student with our students. Our assistant principal in the middle school area is taking over his duties. So we did hear some good things about the work he has done, and I did want to thank him for that.
Is there an issue with our air conditioner up front?
We've had air conditioning issues throughout the summer. I wasn't here today, is ours fixed yet or no? No, okay. The one in the front office was off and on. It works and they get it working and then it goes out and and ours hasn't been working since May 31st was the first call we put in, and it's supposedly they found the issue.
That they're leaking?
No.
Ours is gonna take a replacement unit.
Yeah.
This one over here?
No, it's central office. Our central office.
Okay.
Let's get a fan and a block of ice.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
we have that.
Done.
Alright, so, just, I guess, let us know what needs to be done.
Yeah, we're working on those things.
Alright, any other items for Randy to address? Alright, bring us to the non-consent agenda. So item A is the designation of the seat on the pilot box.
I'll make a motion to authorize superintendent secretary, fiscal secretary, and business manager to have access to the safe deposit box.
We have a motion, is there a second? Motion and second, is there any discussion on that item? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. B.
Make a motion to appoint the business director to act as treasurer.
Motion support, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. C is the responsibility of the secretary.
I make a motion to designate superintendent as designated to act as secretary.
Motion support, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. And D, the electronic transfer officer.
Make a motion that the business director be responsible for all electronic transfers for the district funds.
Motion and support, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And then item E, Tiffany, as middle school assistant principal and safety coordinator.
Make a motion to approve Tiffany Jamie as assistant principal safety coordinator.
Motion support, any discussion?
Chris, you sat in on that, right?
She's an excellent, highly recommend her.
Thank you. I mean, did you interview?
5, 4.
Yeah.
Four, by far the best.
Great.
It's nice when they make it easy. By far.
Any other discussion on that? You had a second, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Item F, Kenneth Huber as assistant.
Makes a motion to hire Ken Huber as high school principal and athletic director, high school assistant principal. And athletic director.
Clarifying support.
We have.
Almost got somebody's place.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, motion carries. And then item G, hiring Heidi Van Aken as central elementary teacher. Any motion on
I'll
that?
make a motion to approve Heidi Van Aken for a central L teacher.
Support.
Okay, motion support, any discussion?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Andy, what I'm going to say is in no way a reflection of you or your job performance. 1 year ago, we interviewed for a superintendent. The community, staff, board members, and even our local media expert all gave their opinions on who we should hire. All public record. Some of those comments include, he came through our school system. He's a Penny grad. His family supported our district for years. He knows the district and what he's getting into. He's bought into the community. He'll stay here. His kids go to our schools. He's built community relations and has community support. We know what we're getting. He's young with no superintendent experience, but that's okay. We'll save money and he can work himself up on the pay scale. We can train him how we want him. The list could go on. Fast forward 1 year to this summer. We've had 4 elementary teaching positions opened. Last month, we hired 2 elementary teachers. Tonight, possibly 2 more. 1 at the 2nd step of the salary scale. 2 at the 5th step of the salary scale. Remember, there's 10 steps now. And even 1 at the 3rd step of the master's scale. So much for cost savings. Of these 4 teachers, 3 of them reside in Bay City. 1 resides in Standish. Think back to the comments we heard in support of Andy about being local and a Penny grad. At least 2 local Penny graduates applied for the elementary teaching positions. 1 was interviewed. 1 was not even given an interview. Both had excellent student teaching evaluations and subbing experience in our district. 1 student taught at Linwood. And when I was there this spring, the staff had nothing but praise for her and told me that they hoped she received one of the teaching positions in our district. She earned it. Sadly, she did not. Even more interesting, both of these Penny grads were offered teaching positions in other school districts. I challenged the interview committee to explain to the board, or to be alone, why reasons we heard for hiring Andy as superintendent just 1 year ago are not considered, or were not considered in the hiring of the 4 elementary staff members. For this reason, I will be voting no tonight.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Mine is that on basically on that same aspect, we keep talking for the last 3 years, 4 years, however long I've been here, that grow your own, and then we grow our own, and then we step outside. So how do we keep mentioning grow your own, trying to get seniors to go to school to be teachers, to come back, when they either don't get an interview or, I don't know how the one that did get an interview fared. But that's just what gets me. We've mentioned it for countless years, back when Mike was even here, grow our own, and
I do, I see one Pinconning grad on the list. Two?
Middle school, yes, I'm talking the 4 elementary positions only.
I know you're specific, but there isn't a blacklist on Pinconning grads. We have been hiring them.
2 at the middle school this year.
2 at the middle school. And 0 out of the 4 elementary.
Yes.
I just wonder if there's any comments from Andy on that? Were you in any process? Or
No, I was not.
Because these recommendations come from Ms. Brown, we're not going to put her on the spot.
Well, conversely, I don't disagree. I've always kind of been that too, but if we have a candidate that, and again, I wasn't in the interviews, I don't know who applied, I don't know who was turned down, but we also want the best teachers in our classrooms. And we've got to be able to admit that sometimes it's not going to be a homegrown person. That if it's somebody who stands out, that's going to benefit our community and benefit our kids, then stepping outside of that, I don't, and again, I've been adamant of trying to get new people here. You know, that's why I backed Kyle, that's why I backed Mr. Kowalczyk and people, because I think it's important for our community to see that. And again, I don't know any of the people who are interviewed and not interviewed, but if we have outstanding candidates, I also want outstanding candidates in our classroom. You know, if it's fairly even, then I kind of like to go to the homeroom too. And that's something to, I think, keep in mind, and I would think our administrators did too, is I'd like to believe that these are the best teachers for the classroom. So, and I don't know.
Who is on the interview committee for teachers? For the
Central Elementary, because you mentioned who's already on, that was for the assistant.
For the
Administrators, yes.
administrator, that's at our level though, a teacher level, is it still a committee that interviews?
Yeah, Dr. Braun, administrator, normally, other teachers as well, anybody else. I think that's what we have.
I don't disagree, but I wouldn't want to put that on my administrators to say, if it's a penny graduate, make sure that they're given an interview. You know, I mean, it may not be the case now. You mentioned how high a level we brought some people in on, like step 5, and we have step 10. I believe that person had 10 years of experience, and we are at a teacher shortage right now, and there's every district that I'm familiar with is hiring people at their experience or more, depending on if they're teaching science and math or special ed. You can pretty much name your price at this point, go into a contract. So
They won't apply.
We can look at one of the applicants that are probably going to be hired tonight. I believe she has no elementary regular ed classroom experience. If you look at her resume. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Braun.
No, that's correct.
That's correct.
That's correct.
No elementary regular ed classroom experience. She has special ed.
Which one are we looking at?
I believe that's Lindsay.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's the one. Show me where there's regular ed classroom experience there.
See, I'm a little hesitant to start interviewing ourselves because we.
Yeah.
I mean, if we
You don't
automatically let it be known that Pinconning grads are being hired, we're not going to get a good group of applicants. I agree with you.
It'd be nice. Yeah.
And it would be,
So
all things equal, we go with the grad.
Remember the one student taught at Linwood and had an excellent experience, was highly recommended by Linwood staff. Was not hired.
I wonder if there was a limit of teachers on that committee?
No.
I think that's something, so we'll deal with the motion that's in front of us, And I think this is a very good discussion, you know, for the administrators to hear as well as ourselves. But we do have a motion, that we need to carry through, so is there any other discussion that would be relevant and new to this?
Do we still need a motion?
We have a motion and support, that's why we can discuss it.
That's right.
So at this time, I'll ask for a roll call vote then.
Yaris,
Again, this is on item G, Pinconning only.
Yaris,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Bedifer,
Yes.
Doobie,
No.
Holstein,
No.
Rabish, no, Kuchar,
Yes.
4-3 it passes.
So motion carries, thank you. And then item H for Lindsay Coonan.
Motion to approve Lindsay Coonan, Central Elementary teacher.
Support.
We have motion and support, any discussion? I will add on to the discussion, and she's not gonna like it, but my wife worked here as a preschool teacher for years, and I wasn't a teacher at the time, so I didn't understand it. She was denied tenure, she was passed over, even though she was a great teacher and had parents recommending her, the boss recommending her, and she got passed over for people who came in and left, and we came very close to leaving the district. So this is not news, or not new, you know, but we definitely need to look at those people. I know there've been people in the past, good people who are part of this community who I think would have benefited our district too. So again, I don't disagree with anything that was discussed previous, and I think we need to kind of relook at that, revisit that. And if we're gonna hire somebody in a building, I think a staff member, i.e. if in this case Linwood, there probably should have been a Linwood principal, or a Linwood teacher.
They were central positions.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then, okay, I'll take that.
Now, how do we look at that policy? Look at the policy then? Is that what you think we should do? Is
I don't know.
policy committee look at our hiring policy? See if
I guess we
state
need,
in there that we need a emphasis on.
You don't
I
want to do that.
don't wanna put it in.
You don't want to put it in writing.
I just wonder how he suggests we look at it.
I think it just needs to be something informal. I don't wanna lock that in, and I don't want people to misinterpret it, to go, well, oh, I'm from Pinconning, whether I lived here, graduated here, just moved here, whatever it may be, is I still wanna trust the people that we hire. I wanna trust the superintendent we hire and the people that he hires, which is why I'm voting yes on this as opposed to no. I don't disagree with those who are voting no with the discussion, but we hire great people, and I trust them to do their job, and I'm gonna try to support them as much as I can unless I get evidence contrary. So I don't think we need to put it in policy. I think, you know, us having this discussion, I think they're well aware of our desires.
Okay, I understand what you mean.
But I also want-
Then when you said look at it,
Yeah,
what you had.
yeah, okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call vote on Lindsay Coonan, please.
Yaris,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Bedifer,
Yes.
Doobie,
No.
Holstein,
No.
Rabish, no, Kuchar,
Yes,
4-3 it passes.
thank you. Thank you for all of your input. Okay, I think that was a good discussion. Brings us to public comment. Anybody? Oh, I'm sorry, that was, yeah. Let's, administrative staff, let's go to that. Any administrators like to address the board?
Are you gonna do it later then? Well, then we're right back to you.
Yeah, no other administrators? All right, good to go. Proper summer, just it is public comment now. Any public comment? All right, discussion items for board members. I do have one, we paid for the strategic plan, right? We just gotta get. and you
We're
haven't-
gonna have to do.
Correct, yeah. And you haven't heard anything, neither have I. So I'm taking, MASB is kind of taking the summer off. I'll get a hold of Debbie Stair, who's my contact, but suppose there's somebody closer to our district that will be training us, and that's supposed to be in the fall. I want to try to get our dates started to get lined up, because I know we're starting to fill up our calendars. And again, what I would ask of the fellow board members is, if you get a chance, try to look at other school districts, whether they follow a 5-year plan or a strategic plan or whatever. Take a look at it. I know some people really focus on their motto and mission. That's not my thought on that, but we can always discuss it. But look to see what they're doing, and then look at what we want to do for our district, and that will help expedite it. You guys come in with some ideas of what ones generally look like and what we want to focus on. I think it'll just streamline it, and then I will try to follow up with MASB and start locking down some dates. I'm not sure how they do it, since we have our meetings at 5:30, if we do it something 6:30 to 9:30 on Mondays, occasionally, or if they want to take a whole Saturday or something. But do you guys have any preference? Would you rather do it in a half day, like 3 or 4 hours after a Monday meeting, or would you rather do a whole day at some point? Any preference? Or I guess just think about that and let me know.
I'd probably rather do a half day.
Yeah.
A Saturday is gonna really
Okay.
be a problem in my business.
All right. So Russ, you retire.
I usually work Saturdays.
Yeah. All right. Any other discussion items?
To adjourn.
Sport.
We have motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Welcome aboard, new hires.